Some scientists have a wild theory. Beer may have built civilization. Not writing, not wheels. Beer. It likely started completely by accident. Wild yeast landed on wet grain, and something magical happened. It made people feel strangely good. Word spread fast through the tribe. Archaeologists found beer residue dating back 13,000 years. That's before farming even existed, which means beer might be older than bread itself. Some researchers think this desire drove humans to settle down, not to make bread, but to keep making beer. This is called the beer before bread hypothesis, and it might explain why farming even started. Sounds crazy. It gets even wilder. The ancient Sumerians wrote entire hymns dedicated to beer. They even had a goddess of beer, named Ninkasi. Her hymn is actually the oldest known beer recipe ever found. Beer wasn't just for fun. It was often part of a worker's daily wage. The pyramid builders in Egypt were paid partly in beer. Try explaining that to your boss today. It also provided calories, hydration, and nutrients in one drink. And it was often safer to drink than the local water. Brewing involved boiling, which accidentally killed dangerous bacteria. In many ancient cities, beer was genuinely safer than water. Beer was taken so seriously that Babylon wrote laws about it. The Code of Hammurabi had strict punishments for bad or diluted beer. One of humanity's oldest laws protected beer quality. Beer even shaped early trade routes across entire regions. It wasn't just a drink, it was an economic force. But beer's biggest secret might be hiding in your own DNA. Humans evolved a special gene to help digest alcohol. It produces an enzyme that processes alcohol far faster than our ape relatives. This mutation appeared roughly 10 million years ago. Long before humans existed, our ancestors were already eating fermented fruit. Scientists call this idea the drunken monkey hypothesis. Fermented fruit has a strong smell, which helped our ancestors find food faster. Being able to process that alcohol gave them a real survival advantage. That ancient gene mutation is still inside you today, which means your body was quietly preparing for beer millions of years before it existed. Beer wasn't invented just once. It appeared independently around the world. In South America, people chewed corn and spit it into pots to start fermentation. Yes, that's exactly as strange as it sounds. Enzymes in human saliva actually helped break down the starch into sugar. In Africa, people fermented sorghum and millet into their own version of beer. Nearly every ancient civilization found their own path to fermentation. But one civilization took beer to a whole new level. Egypt turned beer into an obsession. They built massive breweries near the pyramids. One site could brew thousands of liters a day. Even children drank a weaker version daily. Doctors even prescribed beer mixed with herbs as medicine. Hundreds of such remedies have been found. Beer was even buried with the dead for the journey into the afterlife. Meanwhile, the Greeks preferred wine instead. They actually looked down on beer drinkers. The Romans called it a barbarian drink. Ironically, monks later perfected it. Medieval monasteries introduced hops, changing beer's flavor forever. Monks became Europe's top brewers for centuries. Hops are still the reason your beer tastes bitter today. But beer was about to change society itself. Taverns became centers of medieval life. Deals were made. News was shared. Some historians call taverns early democracy's testing ground. In colonial America, taverns hosted many early political meetings. Some historians believe parts of early American democracy was shaped there. A surprising footnote in political history. The Industrial Revolution changed brewing forever. Louis Pasteur's research revealed exactly how yeast works. For the first time, brewing became a real science, not guesswork. Mass production followed almost immediately. Within decades, beer became a truly global industry. Then, in 1920, the United States banned alcohol completely. This gave rise to secret underground bars called speakeasies. It also fueled the rise of organized crime almost overnight. Prohibition finally ended in 1933, after just 13 chaotic years. One drink had somehow influenced law, crime, and an entire nation's politics. But its story still wasn't finished, because beer was about to get seriously scientific. Welcome to the age of craft beer. Starting in the 1980s, small breweries exploded worldwide. Today, there are over 30,000 breweries on Earth. Modern brewers now engineer yeast strains precisely. Every flavor note is carefully controlled at a molecular level. Sensors track temperature, sugar, and alcohol content constantly. The process hasn't changed much, just the precision behind it. Researchers have even studied beer's effect on health. In small amounts, Some studies link it to modest heart benefits. In excess, it clearly causes serious health risks. Like most things, moderation is the real key. Non-alcoholic beer has also become a huge modern innovation. Same flavor, without the alcohol effects. Scientists have even tested brewing beer specifically for space travel. Some future Mars colony designs even include space for brewing. An ancient accident might one day travel to another planet. From a wet puddle of grain to something humanity might carry to Mars. So what does this wild journey really teach us? Beer's story is really humanity's story. One accidental discovery quietly touched farming, law, trade, even politics. It's even written into our own DNA. Millions of years before it existed. Every sip carries an accidental chain of events spanning thousands of years. Every brewer today owes something to a nameless person in ancient Sumeria. A single accident may have nudged humanity toward farming and cities. And that's honestly one of history's strangest twists. So next time you raise a glass, remember it might have quietly shaped civilization itself. Let's bring it all together with one final thought. Let's go back to where we started. A single accidental puddle of fermented grain. It took 13,000 years, countless accidents, and one very determined civilization. Every glass you raise today carries that entire, unlikely history. A shared drink, enjoyed by billions, quietly connecting cultures for millennia. So the next time you crack one open, remember what it actually took. An accident that quietly shaped the modern world. From a forgotten goddess, to a science lab, to your kitchen table. Subscribe for more wild true stories behind everyday things. Tell me in the comments which invention we should explore next. Share this with someone who's never thought twice about their favorite drink. A tiny glass, a massive, hard-fought piece of human history. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Same drink, same joy, 13,000 years apart. Cheers to one of history's strangest accidents.